Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us here for Game 2 on the Garnet Sports Network. We're coming at you live here. Ryan Warm is warming up for Swarthmore. Warm is on the mound here for Game 2. Swarthmore fell 8-1 in the first game of the doubleheader to the Franklin and Marshall College Diplomats. F&M improving to 5-3-1 in conference. Swarthmore falling to 3-6. A little bit of work to do if they want to remain here in the playoff hunt. They have 2 more weekends of doubleheaders left. 2 more weekends of doubleheaders, and then also those midweek series against Ursinus and Haverford. So after today, they'll have 8 conference games remaining. They play an 18-game conference schedule, each opponent twice. Leading off for F&M, they were going with a little bit of a different lineup here in Game 2. They've got the shortstop Williams. Reed Williams, prior to today, was hitting .268, started 12 games. Warm misses low in the dirt for the first pitch. Give you their lineup. It's Williams, and then Casey Bulick, David Akabuchi, Chris Vincent, Kengo Kawahara, Roberson, Ebert, Blugis, Whalen, and then on the mound will be Mike Andraconis. For Swarthmore, it'll be A.J. Liu. He's out in right. Charlie Levitz in left, Wes Fishburne at third. Connor Elliott will be the designated hitter. After him is Cole Beaker, the first baseman. Then Max Gruyon at short, Matt Palmer at second, Kenji Yoshi behind the plate, and Ryan Burnett bringing up the rear in center. That's a single for Williams in the leadoff spot, poking it between Fishburne and Gruyon. And now batting is Casey Bulick, third baseman. Warm, a lefty, so going to be a little bit more difficult to take a big lead against him today for these F&M runners. They don't steal a lot of bases. That one in for a strike, 0-1. Akabuchi, 9 of 12 stealing this year. Kevin Lammers, 7 of 9. Nobody else on the team has really attempted more than 6 stolen bases. Laying down a bunt. Warm fields it. Throw is wild. Can't get to Beaker. That'll go out of play. And that will be a sack bunt and an error by the pitcher. And not a great start for Swarthmore, as that error may end up costing them. Runners on second and third for Akabuchi. Akabuchi had a solo home run last game. Drew a walk, and I believe he singled as well. Definitely a dangerous hitter at the dish for F&M. Fouls off the first pitch he sees. No outs in the first. Warm in a bit of a hole here with runners on second and third and no outs, but we've seen some strong outings for him, so we'll see what he can do here. Akabuchi takes that pitch for a ball, 1-1. Apologize for those earlier technical difficulties in game 2. We should be all good for the nightcap here. That one inside. Yoshi sliding to stop it. Good heads up by him. 2-1 on Akabuchi. Runners on second and third. Solid piece by Akabuchi, but he flies out to left. And that'll be a sac fly, scoring number 3, Reed Williams, as the runner held at second. That'll be the first out and the first run of the game, bringing up cleanup hitter and catcher Chris Vincent. Vincent came in late last game as a pinch hitter. He's hitting .303, leading the Diplomats with 27 RBIs this year. He's got 5 doubles and 2 home runs. Definitely a guy who can hit for power. And that's a stolen base. Sliding in is Bulick. Now he's at third. Got a good jump there. Fishburne gets the throw over to first, but a run scores, making it 2-1 for the 2-0 rather here in the first for the Diplomats. Apologies. 2 outs now, bases empty. Stepping up will be the right fielder Kengo Kawahara. That one goes for a ball. Count 3-0. Warm falling a little bit behind here. And that's a 4-pitch walk for Kawahara. Warm having a little bit of difficulty so far in this outing. Coming up to bat will be someone we haven't seen so far today, Zachary Robertson. Robertson did not start in game 1. He's got 24 hits, hitting .333. And he'll take off. Yoshi does not throw to second. That's another stolen base here for the Diplomats. Stealing that base was Kawahara. 0-1, runner in scoring position here for Roberson. And he gets a piece of that, but he'll fly out to center to Ryan Burnett. That will end the inning. F&M leads 2-0 after 1. Swarthmore look to get a quick start of their own here in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Thank you for joining us here on the Garnet Sports Network. We'll be right back. Warming up on the mound for F&M is Mike Androkonis. Androkonis has been the best pitcher so far this year for F&M. He's got a 2.27 ERA in 43.2 innings pitched. He's started 7 games and made 8 appearances. We'll see if the Garnet can figure him out today. I believe Androkonis is in the top 5 for ERA in the Centennial Conference. He'll start his day against A.J. Liu. The Diplomats took advantage of an error and a hit last inning to score 2 runs. Swarthmore will need to find an answer here. Last game they scored 1 run in the first inning, but the offense dried up a little bit for the rest of the game. We'll see if they can be more consistent here as Lou steps into the box. Called strike 1. That one outside, 1-1. Hard hit ball past the third baseman for Lou. He is rounding second but decides to go back to first. Good start there from A.J. Liu. Has been a solid leadoff all day. Charlie Levitt steps into the box here. Levitt had a nice sack bunt last game and did a lot to not necessarily get himself on base, but to advance runners for the Garnet. Androkonis throws over to first, trying to keep Lou honest. Levitt swings at the first pitch he sees, pops up into foul territory. It'll be grabbed by the third baseman, Bulick, for the out. Wesley Fishburne up to bat. Fishburne had an RBI single last game, and yesterday against the Muhlenberg Mules, he had a 2-run home run, his second of the season. Fishburne playing in his 10th game of the season, starting a little bit late this year after rehabbing an injury from last season. That actually occurred against F&M. It was on the final day of the year. Swarthmore split with the Diplomats in a manner of speaking. They lost the first game and then ended up tying the second in 14 innings. So maybe not technically a split. That one was a game for the ages. Lou leading off at first. Fishburne at the plate. Count 1-1, 1 gone. Here in the bottom of the first, Androkonis throws over. Fouled off from Fishburne on that curve by Androkonis. Looked a little bit eager on that one. Not sure if it was the pitch he was expecting. And he gets a good piece of that, finds a gap in the outfield. That drops. Lou is coming around from third as that one's at the wall. And Lou will come all the way around. It's a double by Wesley Fishburne. And Swarthmore gets on the board after a 2-base hit from Wesley Fishburne to drive in Lou. Very reminiscent of what happened last game when Fishburne started things off by driving in Lou. See if the Garnet can continue that momentum here. Connor Elliott up to the plate. Ball, called outside, a strike. Andrew looking back at Fishburne. Fires it in there. Ball looped up, shallow right fielder charging, but it drops in as Fishburne now at third. The third single of the afternoon already for Swarthmore, as we've got runners on the corners for Cole Beaker. Swarthmore down a run, but have to be encouraged by this early offensive showing, not having much difficulty with Androkonis. So they've got 3 hits and just 4 at-bats after that single by Connor Elliott. Swing and a miss by Beaker for strike 1, 2 down here, or rather 1 down here in the first. Swarthmore working quickly to get that run back. Beaker hits that over to the second baseman. He'll throw to second, and that will be a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. That's an unfortunate turn of events for Swarthmore, but they have to be encouraged by that run and that offensive showing. F&M will come back up to bat. They lead 2-1 after 1. We'll be right back here on the Garnet Sports Network. Leading off for the Diplomats will be the designated hitter, Kyle Ebert. Ebert did not start in Game 1. He's coming in now with a .292 batting average with 19 hits. As he takes a first pitch ball from Ryan Warm. Fouls that one off, count evens to 1-1. Off the plate, 2-1 on Ebert. And that's another ball. Falling behind here is Warm. But he fouls it off, and the count is now full for Ebert, number 30, Kyle Ebert. And he goes down swinging. Good job by Warm to recover from that 3-1 to get him on the strikeout there. Danny Blugis now will be up to bat. Blugis playing first base. He started as the catcher in Game 1. He swings at that first pitch, single to center field, and that's a base hit for Danny Blugis. Jimmy Whalen steps up to bat. Whalen at second base. He was the DH in the last game. Warm goes over to first to hold Blugis. So with Blugis at first base, Akabuchi moves to right field. He started at first in the last game. That one in for a strike. Good off-speed look from Ryan Warm. 0-1 on Whalen. Whalen the 9-hitter. Goes over to first again. F&M active on the bases last inning with 2 stolen bases. Ball called. 1-1. That one over to Palmer. Palmer fires to second, gets the out there, but can't complete the double play. Good job to get the lead runner, though. 2 outs now as Whalen replaces Blugis at first on that fielder's choice. We'll go to the top of the order with Williams, Reed Williams, number 3. And now we're in a pickle situation. 1, 3, 6, 3, 4. Oh, that'll be a 1, 3, 6, 3, 4 caught stealing. Those of you scoring it at home, that will end the inning on a little bit of questionable base running by the Diplomats. Good job by Warm, though. And we head into the bottom of the second. Swarthmore still trailing 2-1. But they held the Diplomats to a 0 there. Let's see if they can continue that offensive run they had in the first. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be right back here on the Garnet Sports Network. Max Gruyon will step into the batter's box to lead off this inning. Swarthmore had a couple of hits, had 3 hits in that previous inning, but ended on a little bit of a sour note with a double play. We'll see what Gruyon can get going here leading off. That one in for a strike. We also have softball action going on as Swarthmore takes on the Diplomats as well. That's well hit by Gruyon, but just foul in left field. Swarthmore dropped the first game to the Diplomats here in baseball and in softball. Plenty of other Garnet teams in action. We can bring you those scores in just a second. Oh and 2 for Gruyon. He fouls another one off. This time goes to the right side, opposite field. Over in softball, Swarthmore ahead 5-3 in the bottom of the fifth in game 2 as Gruyon goes down looking. First out of the inning, and we've reached Matt Palmer, the second baseman, a junior. Swarthmore looking to split with the Diplomats in softball and here in baseball as well. That one in the dirt for a ball. In men's lacrosse, the Garnet traveled to nationally ranked Dickinson as Palmer flies out to Akabuchi and right for the second out. The Red Devils prevailed by a 17-6 score against the Garnet. Kenji Yoshi, the freshman catcher, will come up to bat after that fly out to right by Palmer. Strike one on Yoshi. That one taken for a ball. And in women's tennis, Swarthmore fighting number 33 Wellesley up in Massachusetts for Nor'easter Bowl action. Swarthmore edged 5-4 in the battle of the Garnet and Blue. That is right to the second baseman. Third out of the inning. Quick work by Andrikonis there. After 2, Swarthmore remains down by 1. As we head to the top of the third, we'll be right back. And we're back live here. Leading off the inning will be Williams, number 3, Reed Williams, the leadoff hitter. He was up to bat in the last inning, but didn't get a chance to see that one through after the pickoff. Got Whalen fouling that one off. Gets a piece of it into the glove of Fishburne at third. He fires over to Beaker at first. 1 out in the third. Bulick swings at the first one. It gets past Gruyon at short, dribbles into left field. That'll be a single for Casey Bulick. Bring David Akabuchi to the plate. That's just a fun name to say. That ball low. Yoshi going to retrieve it, looking down at first to check the runner. Throws over to first. Akabuchi fouls that one. 1-1 on him. One gone here. Runner on first. That is Casey Bulick, who singled. Gets a piece of it high in the air. It's in shallow right field. Underneath it is A.J. Liu. 2 outs in the top of the third. Runner stays at first. Cleanup hitter in, catcher Chris Vincent. At the plate for the second time today. 2 gone, 1 on first. Worm goes over there. And he gets a piece of that, charging at his Fishburne. He fields it cleanly, throws over to Beaker at first, ends the inning. So the Diplomats get a hit but can't do anything else with it. Game remains at 2-1 here, heading into the bottom of the third. Ryan Burnett in the 9-hole will lead off the inning, and then Liu and Levitt will be up after that. That's who's due up. We'll be right back here on the Garnet Sports Network.
Division III schools offer academic scholarships instead of athletic scholarships. This really puts the focus that the student athlete needs to maintain that GPA.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III. A lot of people pick schools just based on the sport and don't get that experience.
Being a Division III athlete and developing my leadership skills has definitely put my name out there and helped me get more recognition on campus, but more recognition nationwide. I did win the Jostens Trophy, which is based on leadership, academics, and then how well you do on the court.
I'm also the Schwartz Scholar of my class. Schwartz Scholarship is basically a scholarship that is given to a student who's identified as a likely leader.
At the end of the day, it won't matter how they play on the field, it will matter how they do in the classroom.
So leading off the inning, we'll have Ryan Burnett up for the first time today here in the bottom of the third. Burnett, one of 2 seniors in this lineup, along with Wesley Fishburne. Takes a big swing and misses at strike 1. And he hits that one sharply into center field for a single. Good piece by Ryan Burnett there. That'll bring up A.J. Liu. Liu singled in his last at-bat and scored after a double by Wes Fishburne. Back to the top of the order here for Swarthmore. That one thrown over to second. That's a stolen base for Burnett. Good job getting into scoring position for him. No outs. Swarthmore threatening with the game-tying run on second. One strike for Liu. Liu fouls that one off. Down 0-2 here. In a bit of a hole. And Liu pokes that one, gets it past the second baseman who drives to try to stop but can't get there. Burnett rounds into home, and that's the game-tying run. We're even at 2 here in the bottom of the third after another single from A.J. Liu, an RBI single. That brings Burnett in all the way from second. Still no outs. Got Liu on first as he has his second single of the day. Charlie Levitt stepping up. Last time he popped out to the third baseman. Good contact, but over to short. Gets him at second, and that is a 6-4-3 double play. Second double play Swarthmore's grounded into today so far this game. Game tied at 2. Fishburne doubled in his last at-bat, looking to stay hot here at the plate. Strike one in from Androkonis. Low for ball one, 1-1, 2 outs. And he waits for that one, getting a single into the left field. Fishburne with another hit today. He's 2 for 2 with a single and a double. That'll bring Connor Elliott up to bat. Elliott singled in his last AB here. Androkonis looking to get out of this inning. That one low off the plate for a ball. Looking to get out of this inning without giving up any more runs, letting Swarthmore take the lead. We're tied here at 2. The Garnet have 6 hits already. F&M with 3. Androkonis throws over to first, not in time. Fishburne dives back to safety. He goes back to first. Elliott pops that one up. It's out of play. Count even at 1-1. 2 gone. Fishburne on first. That one off the plate low for a strike. For a ball. Definitely a ball there. 2 balls, 1 strike for Elliott. Elliott 1 for 1 today thus far. Second time up to bat. Third pickoff throw this at bat to first, trying to get Fishburne. Worried about what he can do on the bases. Always a threat to steal 1 or 2. That one well low. And now Elliott ahead 3-1 in the count. Danger of issuing his first walk today. That's a walk issued to Elliott. He'll get first base for free. Move Fishburne over to second for Cole Beaker. Beaker grounded into a double play in his last at-bat. There's going to be a meeting on the mound. F&M pitching coach will have a couple words with Andrew Konis, try to settle him down a little bit here in the bottom of the third. Swarthmore's got 6 hits here in the early goings. Andrew Konis has been pretty solid this whole season. Got 2.27 ERA coming into this game, a 4-1 win-loss record, but the Garnet have gotten to him early. 2 runs in a little bit less than 3 innings. As Cole Beaker waits his turn to bat. Beaker swings at that first pitch. It's fouled out of play. 0-1 count for Beaker. Beaker spends most of his time at first base. He's started on the bump 1 game this season. That was over spring break against Coast Guard. Came away with a win there. Gets a good piece of that line past the diving second baseman. And Fishburne comes home safely. That will score a run 3-2 for Swarthmore off that single by Cole Beaker. Good 2-out approach there. 2-strike, 2-out approach. That would have been a heck of a play by the second baseman, Whalen, to snag that one. As Beaker hits safely for a single. Grullon now batting. Max Grullon struck out looking, and he swings at that one. That one in left center. Elliott will come around to score. And Beaker will come and maybe got a little bit greedy there, as he's tagged out at home. But another run scores for Swarthmore, and 3 runs in that inning makes it 4-2 for the Garnet. We'll see what F&M can answer here as we head to the top of the 4th. We'll be right back on the Garnet Sports Network. Swarthmore leads 4-2 now after 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. Kawahata will get things started for the Diplomats here as they look to answer that 3-run outburst by the Garnet. Fouls that one off straight back for strike 1. That one low for ball 1. High ball. And running to catch that one was Burnett. Good work by Burnett, and you can see Levitt kind of hopping out of his way there. Worried about the possible collision in left center. 1 out. Zach Robertson steps into the batter's box. Not fielded cleanly by Gruyan, and that's an out over at first. Second out of the game. Had a bit of a delay there. Swarthmore still leading 4-2. That's a single by Reed Williams up the left field line. F&M striking out the side in order to end that last inning. Both teams put up zeros there. Swarthmore still ahead by 2. They've got an 8-4 advantage in hits. And stepping into the plate will be Casey Bulick. That one at the feet of Bulick. Yoshi scoops it up to prevent the advance. Batter is on first. Runner on first, rather. Checks over to first. Warm. Both starting pitchers still in the game. Warm and his counterpart, Androkonis. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And he goes there, and he gets caught stealing on a 1-3-4. F&M got a little bit greedy there as they lose that base runner and end the inning. Swarthmore, after 5.5, still ahead by 2 runs, 4-2 here as we head into the bottom of the 5th, and the Garnet will look to add to that lead. We'll be right back here on the Garnet Sports Network. And leading off the inning will be the leadoff hitter, A.J. Liu. I think that's like the 5th or 6th time he's done that this afternoon. Androkon is still on the mound. Liu's got 2 singles so far today. That one in for a strike. We're about halfway through this game here in the bottom of the 5th. Garnet lead by 2 runs thanks to that 3-run explosion in the 3rd. Members of the Swarthmore softball team filing in here. They completed a split with F&M after winning the nightcap just a couple moments ago. That one off the plate for a ball, hoping to cheer on the baseball team to do the same. There are a number of differences between softball and baseball as Liu fouls that one off. The fields at softball tend to be smaller. The pitching delivery is quite different. And that one in the dirt from Androkonis. Count evens to 2-2. Softball has the designated player, whereas baseball has the designated hitter. Fouled off. Softball, pitchers are able to pitch for longer. There's most teams will have 2 pitchers that they use. Some teams only have really 1 pitcher that'll pitch both ends of the doubleheader. Less strain on the arm, so they're able to pitch more innings. If you'd like to learn more differences, you can subscribe to my newsletter. As Lou lines out to the shortstop. You can also reach me on social media using the hashtag Instagram. Charlie Levitt stepping into the box. Pardon me. Levitt fouling off the first pitch. Pardon my sidebars. 18 innings of baseball is a lot of baseball. Got to keep myself entertained. 0-1 for Levitt. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 5th. He takes that pitch, but it's a ball. Looked like a strike to me, but umpire had a different perspective. 1-1, 1 gone. Calls time. Levitt steps out. On deck is Wesley Fishburne. He's got a single and a double to his name so far. Big swing and a miss from Levitt. That's 1-2. Andrew Cohn is still on the mound for F&M. He's given up 4 runs so far today, and he gets Levitt swinging. That's the second out of the inning. And Wesley Fishburne steps into the batter's box here. He's got a double and a single today. That one low and inside on Fishburne. Ball 1. And his hitting streak continues with a single up the middle. That's 3 hits for Wes Fishburne in this game. He's got a pair of singles and a double. That'll bring up Connor Elliott. Elliott 1 for 1 today. He's got a single and a walk. Ball over to short by Elliott. Throw is to second, and they get the force play there to end the inning. We head now into the top of the 6th. The Garnet holding on to that 2-run lead. They've got 9 hits compared to 4 for F&M. Warm will take the mound and look to continue his start. We'll be right back here on the Garnet Sports Network. Bulick shows bunt on the first pitch, which is a ball outside from Warm. One and one. Grounder over to third. Fishburne fires to Beeker, first out of the inning. Akabuchi stepping toward the plate now. Ball one from Warm on Akabuchi. In there for a strike count, even at 1-1. Ball low from Warm. Two and one. That one low and well inside, almost hitting Akabuchi. Gets out of the way. Count at 3-1. F&M looking to get something started here in the sixth. They trail by 2. They've got 4 hits today so far. They did all their scoring in the first inning. Since then, Warm has settled in a little bit. It's looked more like himself. That one grounded to short. Grullon fields over to Beeker at first for the second out of the inning. And Chris Vincent, the catcher, will come up to the plate. In for a strike. Big swing and a miss from Vincent there. F&M hitters have had trouble figuring out Warm since the first inning. Having a pretty good start for his second consecutive game. Had a good start against Dickinson last weekend. That was a 6-4 win for the Garnet. That one goes through the legs of Yoshi for the first ball. 1-2 here on Chris Vincent. Two and two the count now. Fouled off weakly. Warren keeping these Diplomat hitters off balance so far today. Umpire calls time. That one off the plate. Count is now full on Vincent. Payoff pitch coming from Warm here. He swings at that one. It's high into center field as Burnett grabs that one to end the inning. Retiring the side in order is Warm. Heading now into the bottom of the sixth, Swarthmore holding on to that 2-run lead, 4-2 here at Clothier Field, looking to get a split with the Diplomats. We'll be right back here on the Garnet Sports Network. And we're back. Cole Beaker going to lead off the inning here for the Garnet. Beaker singled in his last at-bat. And he hits the first pitch. He sees over to second. Second baseman collects himself and makes the throw for the first out. Gruyon up to bat here. That one in for a strike on Gruyon. 0-1. Low from Androkonis, 1-1. One gone for the Diplomats. Another low pitch from Androkonis. 2-1. That one off the plate. 3-1. Gruyon ahead here now. And he goes on that one. Count is full. Let's see what Androkonis dials up here. Good hit by Gruyon. It's over to third and then dribbles over to short. That's a single for Max Gruyon. Hard hit ball to the third baseman. Palmer now stepping in with a runner on first and one out. That's the 10th hit of the game for Swarthmore. Ball from Androkonis, 1-0 on Palmer. Androkonis throws over to first. Grullon retreats. On deck is Kenji Yoshi. Androkonis missing low there as his catcher, Chris Vincent, calls time or requests time to have a conference with his pitcher. Androkonis missing most of these pitches low. Palmer takes that one for a strike, 2-1. Swarthmore needs this game here. And a good hit and run as Palmer hits it up to the right field line. Grullon is going. He's going to go to third. Runners on the corner now. Perfectly executed hit and run. Palmer getting a single to right field as Grullon runs all the way to third. One out for Kenji Yoshi. As I was saying, Swarthmore now 3-6 in the conference after losing the first game today. Falling to 3-7 would make it difficult to remain in that playoff race. Yoshi bunts that one foul. After today, Swarthmore will have 8 conference games remaining. They have sets against Gettysburg, McDaniel, Haverford, and Ursinus left. Next week they'll play Ursinus on Wednesday and Friday, and then they'll travel to Gettysburg on Saturday. In the final week of the regular season, they'll play Haverford in the midweek and host McDaniel here at Clothier Field. If they sit at 3-7, they'll be 4 games below 500, putting them in a tough spot. You need to be at least 500 or better historically to make the playoffs in the Centennial Conference. They take the top 4 teams. Nice bunt, squeeze play there. And Androkonis gets a good jump, scoops it to Vincent for the play at home, tagging Grullon. Good jump by Mike Androkonis there. Save the run. We've got 2 outs. Ryan Burnett stepping up to the plate with Yoshi and Palmer on first and second respectively. Swarthmore can't convert on that squeeze play. Burnett swings at that one high into left field, back to the fence. That one off the fence. Palmer will score. And Yoshi slides into the third on that RBI double from Ryan Burnett. Swarthmore leads 5-2. Palmer gives his batting gloves to first base coach and outfielder coach Josh Throckmorton. Gets a pat on the back. Great piece of hitting there from Burnett with 2 outs. Like the first pitch he saw, swung on it, hit it to the back wall in left field. And going to have a little bit of a talk here on the mound. We may see Androkonis get pulled from this game. Might stay in for the end of this inning. We'll see. Andrew Cohn is staying in here. He'll face the leadoff hitter, A.J. Liu. As we're back to the top of the order, Swarthmore with a 3-run lead now. Has the Garnet have 12 runs total here. That one missing from Androkonis for ball 1 on Liu. A bit of a delicate situation here with 2 more runners in scoring position, Burnett and Yoshi. With the way Warm has been pitching, more runs would be potentially devastating for the Diplomats, as they haven't been able to get it going on offense after the first inning when they scored 2. In for a strike, 1-1 on Liu. Liu fouls that one up, falls to 1-2 in the count. Liu wastes another pitch. Good at-bat from him. Staying alive here. Pitch off the plate. 2-2. The count. Chris Vincent going to have a bit of a talk with Androkonis. Rather, he's taking his time. He got up a little bit gingerly after that one. And Liu smacks that, but a great grab from the third baseman. That was Casey Bulick jumping to save probably 2 runs there. If that one would have gotten to the outfield, that would have at least scored the runner from third. Great rip, though, from A.J. Liu, but an even better play by Casey Bulick to pull that one out of the air and keep this at a 3-run deficit for the Diplomats. After that Webb gem, we head to the top of the 7th as F&M looks for their first run since the first inning. They've not been able to figure out Ryan Warm since that time. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back. And Swarthmore had a run there in the bottom of the 6th, making it 5-2. Diplomats looking for an answer to Ryan Warm as Kawahara steps in to lead off the inning. A little bit of off speed there. It's a ball. Warm really good at mixing up his looks. In for a strike. One and one the count. Kawahara calls for time. Steps out of the box. Ball 2. Have a sighting of President Val Smith is in the crowd today here at Clothier Field on these newly constructed bleachers and press box structure. That one right back to Warm. Snatches it and tosses it over to Beaker for the first out. Stepping up is Robertson. The left fielder, Zach Robertson. One out here in the top of the 7th. Off the plate, 1-0. Fouled off by Robertson, out of play, 1-1. That one popped up high. Beaker gives way to Palmer, who makes the grab for the second out of the inning. 2 gone. And Kyle Ebert, the designated hitter, now up to bat. Warm working well through these F&M hitters. As that one over to Gruyan at short. He charges, throws to Beaker, gets him in time. And Warm sits down the side in order here in the top of the 7th. Swarthmore holding on to that 3-run lead, 5-2, looking to add to that. They had a run in the 6th. We'll see if they can get one or more here in the 7th. We'll be right back on the Garnet Sports Network. And a new pitcher on the mound for F&M. Replacing Androkonis will be number 11, Jonathan Pasantes. This is the 3rd appearance of the year for Pasantes. He's pitched 3.0 innings, no earned runs yet, allowed 2 hits in those 3 innings with 2 strikeouts. Diplomats counting on him to keep the Garnet off the board. Fouled off by Levitt, out of play. That one off the plate from Pasantes. And he hits that one hard, but it is right into the glove of the left fielder for the first out, bringing up Wesley Fishburne, who's been solid all day, unperturbable, if you will. And Fishburne sneaks in a double. That one landing just fair past Akabuchi, who ran a long way to get there, and he slides into second. That's the second double of the day for Fishburne, who's just been an absolute terror at the dish today. Not the kind of guy you want to pitch to. And another guy that can do some damage here is Connor Elliott. Fishburne at second, looking to add to this lead. In there for a called strike. 0-1. Elliott gets a piece of that, but hits it foul. Down 0-2 in the count now. That one pitched outside by Pasantes. 1-2, 1 down. Fishburne at second. Elliott at the plate. Threatening situation here for the Garnet. And that one's a little bit inside. He hits it. Did he make the grab? He did make the grab. That was number 3. Williams, the shortstop. Athletic play there. Despite the collision, Fishburne kept at second, 2 outs. Cole Beaker up to bat here. That one in for a strike. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Beaker goes on that one for strike number 2, in a bit of a hole here after taking a strike and swinging at that pitch. 2 outs. That one high from Pasantes, 1-2. Looking to get out of this inning without surrendering a run here. One, 2 on the count. That one outside. Beaker's battled back to a 2-2 count. And he reaches for that one, swings, gets a tip, but it's in the catcher's glove. Strikeout swinging on Cole Beaker. That will end the seventh inning. Pardon me. We head to the top of the eighth. Diplomats will be up to bat. Swarthmore leading 5-2. They've got 13 hits to just 4 to Franklin and Marshall College. We'll be right back here on the Garnet Sports Network. Warm remains on the mound here as Blugis, the first baseman, steps up trying to get things going here for the Diplomats. Off the plate and low, a ball. Fouling that one up. Beaker trying to chase it down. Can't get there. 1-1 the count. For Blugis. Outside for another ball. 2-1 on Blugis. Another ball taken by Blugis. 3-1 the count. Gets a piece of that one. Popped up. Beaker is under it as he gets the out there. First out of the inning. Warm continuing to work through these Diplomats with very little resistance. Jimmy Whalen, the 9-hitter, and second baseman at the dish. Pitches inside from Warm. 1-0. We're in the top of the eighth. That one chopped over to second. Palmer fields it over to Beaker. And that is out number 2 for the Garnet as they hold on to a 3-run lead here in the top of the eighth. F&M running out of outs. Leadoff hitter Williams up with 2 outs. That one eludes Palmer. That'll be a single for Williams. Casey Bulick now. Bulick hits that one high, but it's right to Burnett, and Warm gets his ender there. He allows a hit, but nothing comes of it with 2 outs. We head now into the bottom of the 8th. We'll be right back here on the Garnet Sports Network. Swarthmore ahead 5-2, looking to close it out and get a split with the Diplomats here at Clothier Field. Max Grullon will get things started here in the bottom of the 8th. Pasantes remains on the bump. Came in last inning for the starter, Mike Andraconis. Swarthmore with a 3-run lead at 5-2, 13 hits for the Garnet. Their offense has continued to have a good showing, giving Warm that run support. Over to third base, and Grullon out on a 5-3. Palmer will step up now with 1 gone. Palmer shows bunt. Ball 1. In for a strike on Palmer. Palmer did not start the year as the starting second baseman, but really worked his way into that role over spring break and has had it ever since, fouling it out of play, 1-2 the count. Palmer chops that one foul. Corralled by head coach Matt Midkiff. We'll have a interview with him after the conclusion of today's doubleheader action. And Palmer goes down swinging, chasing that one out of the strike zone. For the second out of the game, Kenji Yoshi steps in. Yoshi, the 8-hitter, hailing from Tokyo, Japan. Takes strike 1, 0-1 the count. Grounds over to third, fielded cleanly, throw, bounces before it gets to first. That'll be an E5, and Yoshi gets an extra base as well. Not a great throw from the third baseman, Casey Bulick. And the Garnet looking to make them pay here. They would have been out of the inning, but that E5 extends things and gives Swarthmore a little more new life. Right back at the pitcher, Pasantes, and he'll just scoop it over to first. So that error does not end up costing the Diplomats a run. It will hurt their fielding percentage, however. And Swarthmore now will look to close out this game. The Diplomats down to their final 3 outs. They're going to be coming up in the top of the 9th. They trail 5-2 here at Clothier Field. We'll see who'll be taking the mound. It will be Ryan Warm looking to fire off a complete game here and send the Garnet off with a split against the Franklin and Marshall College Diplomats. We'll take a little bit of a break, but we'll be right back here on the Garnet Sports Network. F&M down to their last life here as we have reached the top of the 9th in the second game of this doubleheader. Leading off is David Akabuchi, probably the best hitter for Franklin and Marshall. He takes that pitch for strike one. Looked to be a little low in the zone, but calls that one a strike. That one off the plate for a ball, 1-1 on Akabuchi. That one inside and low. 2-1 for Akabuchi. In there for a strike, 2-2 now. Making contact is Akabuchi, but it's snared by Fishburne as he tosses over to Beaker. Out number 1 for the Garnet. As Chris Vincent will look to try and extend things for F&M. 1 gone in the top of the 9th. Ryan Warm working on a complete game gem here. He's allowed just 5 hits, 2 runs, both unearned, coming in the first inning. Called strike. 1 error in the game. That was by Warm on that failed pickoff to first. Other than that, he's been unflappable. That one low for a ball. 1-1, 1 out. Just around 2 hours here in this game. So that ball's off the plate. 2-1. Always a pleasure to be here at Clothier Field on the Garnet Sports Network, bringing you live baseball action. That one inside to Vincent. He takes that one for ball 3. 3-1, 1 gone in the top of the 9th. See if Warm can work back here to a full count. Good piece by Vincent, and Lou gets that one. Good run by Lou. Thought that might drop in for a single, but he had other ideas. And F&M down to their last out of the ball game in the afternoon as Kengo Kawahara 2 outs, none on. F&M will need quite the rally here if they want to keep this game going. That one in for a strike. Kawahata crowding the plate just a little bit there. Kawahara calls for time. Umpire grants it. Swarthmore looking to split with F&M here. That's another strike, 0-2. The count. Warm looking for the ender here. He's had a heck of an afternoon on the mound. Just 5 hits, 2 runs, none earned. That one off the plate, 1-2. Swarthmore looking to improve to 4-6 and then Centennial and 11-19 this year. Still looking for that first road win. But they'll have to wait until they play their sinus. And that one is a ball in the dirt. 2-2. 2 outs. Batting is number 2, Kengo Kawahata. That one popped up high. Fishburne saying, "I got it." And that is in his glove. Swarthmore will split the doubleheader, taking the nightcap by a 5-2 victory behind 13 hits and a heck of a pitching performance by Ryan Warm. He gives up just 2 runs in 9 innings and 5 hits allowed. Second consecutive outstanding start from Ryan Warm. He and Sawyer Lake have been fabulous freshmen for the Garnet there on the mound. Wesley Fishburne, just an absolute menace at the plate today. Some clean hitting as well from Ryan Burnett for the Garnet. We'll recap that and more. We'll have an interview with head coach Matt Midkiff. We'll take a little bit of a break before that, though, so we'll hope you stick around here on the Garnet Sports Network. If you can't, we'll have that on YouTube later on for you. Once again, thank you for joining us for all this Centennial Conference baseball action. I'm Roy Grime. Thank you for joining us on the Garnet Sports Network. I'm joined, as always, by head coach Matt Midkiff of the Swarthmore College baseball team. Coach Midkiff, it's great to see you. Just like last weekend, you didn't have the result you wanted in Game 1, but you came back and you split with F&M, a team that has been pretty good, often a playoff team in the Centennial Conference. Ryan Warm came out. He threw a complete game. 2 runs, none earned, 1 walk, and only 2 strikeouts, but still a really good performance from him. Can you speak to the consistency that he's developed over these last couple starts?
Well, I feel like it's a little bit of a broken record, right? We talk about Sawyer Lake, we talk about Ryan Warm, and what those 2 guys have in common is they have just an outstanding pedigree in their respective states. Sawyer from Texas and Ryan from Florida, and just pitching against good opponents, pitching in really big situations, and so nothing seems to be too big for Sawyer or Ryan. And today, Ryan just he picked us up when we needed him. It was a big win for us, and especially after going down 2-0 in the first inning. But I think what was really important is we bounce back and we get a run in the first inning and kind of show that we had some fight left. And I think the resilience of this group has been something that's really been nice to see, and something that I think shows a shift in culture for our program, the way that it doesn't matter what just happened, we seem to bounce back and really stay in the game. So really proud of Ryan, the way he performed today, and he picked up our team, and our team followed.
Speaking of a guy that has shown a lot of resilience this year, Wesley Fishburne coming back from that
I'm not familiar.
that injury right at the end of last season. That was against F&M.
Mm-hmm.
He's only played in 10 games so far this year. He went 4 for 4 with 2 doubles in that win over F&M. He's really, we talked about him last week against Dickinson, but on Friday against Muhlenberg, he hit a home run. Today he's hitting the ball really well. He's playing third, out of position a little bit. I mean, again, I don't want you to be a broken record, but how extraordinary is the path that Wesley Fishburne has taken, not only across his whole trajectory here at Swarthmore, but especially in these last couple games.
It's amazing. Baseball is a very difficult game, and coach after coach that I interact with, before and after the game, they look and they say, my goodness, what an amazing player he is, and I've just been fortunate to be able to watch him play these last 4 years, and nobody was really sure what would happen when Wes came back, and he's still only about 8 months out of ACL surgery, and so he's not even 100% at this point, but I think it speaks to just the kind of character that he has, and just the unbelievable ability that Wes has as a baseball player, and I should also note that as good of a baseball player as he is, he's 10 times a better person, and so what a fortunate program we are to have Wes in it, and I hope we can extend this season as long as possible, so I get to watch him play a little bit more.
Absolutely. Fishburne, definitely a special player. And one last question for you. You've split the last 4 series you've had with Muhlenberg, Washington, Dickinson, and F&M. So what do you need to do to turn these splits into sweeps? On the one hand, in the midweek, you seem to win the first game, and then when you go on the road, having a little bit of difficulty there.
Mm-hmm.
In these home doubleheaders, maybe falling behind early in the first game and then coming back strong in the second game. How do you kind of flip the switch a little bit? It's always difficult to sweep a team, but what are the steps that the Garnet need to take there?
Well, I think consistent pitching is always important, and when you have live TV is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
you just need consistency from everybody, and it's a young group that we're learning. It's funny that last year we didn't split any series, and so I think this is a step forward in, like we talked about earlier, a little bit of the resilience and the bounce back. Starting out better is something that we're going to try to work on, and again, I think it goes back to getting a 0 from your pitcher or putting a run up early from an offensive standpoint, and we just haven't done that consistently in both games, but the compete level is there for us, and And so this is a process, and we feel like if we can continue to do the right things within the process, that ultimately we're going to get there. There's a lot of season left and a lot of series left against a lot of good teams. So the challenge is definitely there, but our guys, every time it's an easy thing for them to do to quit, they don't, and they keep fighting, and so really excited to get a win, and really excited to get a win in front of the president. President Smith was here today, and so we were really excited to see her out in the stands and enjoying the great Prudente press box and our new bleachers and mingling with the fans. So that was exciting too.
Well, we hope you'll join us for more exciting baseball action. The next home game for the Garnet will be on Friday against Ursinus. That will be broadcast live here on the Garnet Sports Network. For Matt Midkiff, I'm Roy Grime. Thank you for joining us here on GSN. Have a happy Easter if you celebrated. And as always,
go Garnet.
Thank you very much.